This is music, and this will make you review your choices. Welcome to another first impressions video. In these videos, I share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up lately. Let's just get down to business. Starting with this one here, Pentagram Doom Metal Legends. This is review your choices. I do have the digipack stored. It is safe and sound. Don't you worry. Now the artwork looks like this, and it is the Heavy Psych Sounds reissue. As far as I remember, it's out on Heavy Psych Sounds. Um, the original artwork looks like this. And I don't know which artwork here I prefer out of the two. I think they're both cool. Like each is cool in its own way. So I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so this is like a very old school Sabbath inspired doom metal, heavy metal, hard rock with a lot of really cool riffs. You got some doomy stuff, you got some, you know, hard rocking stuff as well. There's definitely, I would say, a psychedelic stoner rock kind of undertone to everything here. You have Bobby Liebling's, unique vocals. In most of the songs, I think he sounds really good, but there are a couple of sounds where his vocals are kind of goofy sounding. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but whatever. But it's a really good album. The production is definitely not polished. It's not a modern production. I would say it's even a little bit old school for its time. I think this one is from what, the late 90s or something originally. I don't remember. Uh, the really cool thing about this reissue, that's the bonus tracks. Now there's one bonus track which is basically just Bobby Liebling being weird, but I guess that's part of the whole Pentagram package. But there's some really cool, I don't know if they're like demo songs or like older songs, um, but there's some really cool songs here in the bonus tracks, which some of them are even like better, I would say, than the main songs on the main album. But yeah, it's a good album if you like doom metal, if you like stoner rock. It's definitely worth checking out. I don't even think you have to review your choices. And then up next, we have this one here, also Pentagram, Lightning in a Bottle. The artwork looks like this. So I also have that digipack stored safely somewhere else. Don't worry. So yeah, this one here has a much more modern production. So it sounds heavier and more hard hitting in terms of the guitar tone. But I think this is less doomy. This doesn't really sound doom metal to me at all, to be honest. Maybe it has some undertones, but this is more like 70s inspired heavy metal hard rock. That's how I would describe it. It's really good. I enjoy it. There's some really good crunchy riffs on here. And that more modern guitar tone does make them sound even heavier. So I actually appreciate that. Um, but it does to me kind of lack that kind of doomy vibe to it. Maybe there's a little bit of it, but I would not consider this, just my personal opinion. I'm not the genre police, but I would not consider this doom metal per se. It's still really good. It's definitely worth picking up if you like Pentagram, obviously, but also if you like, darker sounding hard rock. It's worth a try. I do enjoy it. I just don't consider it like doom metal. But yeah, there you go. Some Pentagram. From Pentagram to Van Halen. And this is Balance. So I think this is a pretty good sort of commercial sounding hard rock album. The cover artwork definitely does not line up with the music, I have to say. Because the music is your kind of like commercial fun for the most part, upbeat. Obviously, the musicianship is top notch. So it's, it sounds like Van Halen, of course, with Hagar on vocals. And have to be honest, I prefer Sammy Hagar as a vocalist over David Lee Roth. Uh, that's just my opinion. I just like Sammy Hagar's voice and his singing style better. But yeah, this is a really good hard rock album with there's some things maybe like what's it called? Strung Out, I think it's called. Yeah, that's a couple of tracks which are kind of a waste of time if I'm being honest. But most of the songs are actually really good, and you got some, it's hard rock like I said, but you have some influences from funk and some ballads and different influences for sure, some classic rock too. Um, there's a really cool instrumental. I think, as far as I remember, I think it's Aftershock. I think that's the one, but I'm not certain. There's one really cool instrumental on here. Maybe it's Aftershock, maybe it's Doing Time. Uh, I gotta admit, I don't remember right now, but it's one of those. In any case, it's a really good instrumental. But yeah, good, enjoyable Van Halen album. I'm a latecomer to Van Halen, so I don't really follow the rules of what you have to like and what you have to dislike when it comes to Van Halen. Even if I were not a newcomer, I wouldn't follow those rules anyhow, because I think that's you like what you like. You know, why should we care what other people think? You know what I mean? But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I'm glad I picked it up. Good stuff, fun stuff. And I'll blast in this video White Snake, and this is Ready and Willing. So, yeah, this is kind of similar to Van Halen. I'm a latecomer to Whitesnake as well. So, I don't really know which Whitesnake albums you're supposed to like or dislike, and I don't really care, to be honest. Um, I think this one is good. This one is interesting because, yeah, it's hard rock. There's a lot of blues on this one, but you also have like some songs with some like disco elements. You got some songs with some funky stuff. You have a couple of prog rock sounding songs as well. So it's actually a really interesting sounding album here. You also do have some of the more like AOR-ish and hair metal-ish or glam metal-ish, whatever music that Whitesnake would be known for later. You have some hints of that on this one too. So it's actually a really good album in terms of musical diversity. The vocals are obviously top notch. There's no denying that. This one even has four really cool bonus tracks on as well. Um, I don't know if this is a similar case to the Pentagram album where bonus tracks, some of them are better than the main album tracks. I don't really know if I think that, but they're really cool. And it's definitely worth picking up if you can find it cheap, like I did, for the bonus tracks, or the entire album if you don't already have it. But yeah, this is good. I enjoy it. Definitely glad I decided to finally check out some Whitesnake and some Van Halen. When I say finally, I mean we have to go a couple of years back. I'm not just like a total newbie right now, but they're just two bands that, when I started my own musical journey, I didn't really, I don't know, have the time or the opportunity or whatever to get into those bands. I was busy exploring other stuff like Iron Maiden, of course, AC/DC, Vicious Rumors, and all the thrash stuff, and later the death metal stuff and power metal. So there was so much to explore that, yeah, I just did. There were a couple of classic bands that I just, I didn't have the time for it, and now I do, and I'm enjoying it. And I think maybe I have the advantage that, like I said, I'm not really in on what you're supposed to like and dislike when it comes to those classic bands because I'm a latecomer. So I think that means I can appreciate some of the albums that you're otherwise kind of supposed to dislike. I do think that if I were not a latecomer, I have to say, I still wouldn't care about what other people think. But there's this thing when, like, if you're a fan of a band, and you kind of follow them, and they make a change to something you won't like, then you'll dislike that album. An example in my case is Metallica. Like I loved their '80s stuff, and then they put out the Black Album, which I still enjoy, but I don't like it as much as the classic '80s stuff, right? And then they put out Load and Reload, and I dislike those two albums. But there are other fans of Metallica who came in later, and they don't have the same kind of, I don't know, skin in the game. They don't have a dog in the fight or whatever, and they actually appreciate Load and Reload. And I have the same advantage with a lot of those classic bands that I'm a latecomer to. So I think it's an advantage. In any case, that's enough of me blabbing on about stupid stuff. Thanks for watching.